According to readings.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone, children. How are you all? So I am fine. I hope that you are also fine along with me. Okay. So till yesterday, we have observed about the transportation in animals. But today, we are going to see the transportation in plants also. So how animals require energy, how the animals require the different requirements, different factors. In the same way, plants also need all the things for their development, for their growth, for their maintenance, everything. Okay, even then, the plants are known as autotrophs. Even then, they can able to prepare the food materials. They can able to synthesize their food materials by their own, but they need some of the requirements. But when we compare the plants and animals, but in animals the requirements are more over than plants, but in plants the requirements are very low, very low. But children, there is a specific system, there is a specific method is required by plants that is known as transportation in plants. Right? So today we look into the transportation in plants. So first of all, what are the things to be transported in plants? That we will see. Okay, so let me write the lesson name, transportation. So today's our topic is transportation, and under transportation what we are looking into? Transportation of water. Transportation of water. That means the plants transport the water, the food materials, the minerals and hormones. So these are the main elements to be transported by the plants. Okay, but in animals, children, digestive juices will be there, blood will be transported, water. So many requirements will be there by the animals. But in plants, the requirements are very less, right? Okay. So today, we will observe transportation of water by plants. Okay. Let us discuss about the few points of transportation of water by plants. So basically, when we look into the parts of plants, okay, there are two main parts. There are two main parts by the plants. Okay, so already you have studied in your lower classes also. What are the important parts of a plant? What are the most important parts of a plant? One is the root system. The other one is the shoot system. Okay, one is root system, other one is shoot system. So why I am specifically saying means, so when you look into the root system, the roots are there, no? They are emerged in between the soil layers. They are penetrating between the soil layers. I mean, they are highly connected to the soil particles. Okay, the roots are there, no? They are highly connected to the soil particles. Then what happened? They absorb the water from the soil particles very easily. The roots absorb the soil particles very easily by maintaining either osmosis or diffusion itself. So you already studied what is osmosis, what is diffusion, all those things in lower classes. You studied, okay? Then children, here the roots are highly contacting with the soil particles so that they easily absorb the water. Okay, then what about the shoot system? It is somewhat distant by the soil particles. Okay, so in bushy plants and smaller plants, there is no matter, there is no important. But when you look about the taller plants, very taller plants are there around us. Nearly 200 meters taller plants also there. Okay, so in such cases, the simple osmosis process is not enough, not at all useful to absorb the water. Okay, then what is the remedy for that? So plants are too intelligent than animals. What they will do means they can take another supporting system, another supporting method for absorption of the water and food materials. Right? So our topic is related to water transportation. No? How the plant is able to absorb the water through its roots and how that water will be able to conducted or transported to all the areas of the different parts of the plant that we will see now. Right, children? Okay. So I told you that the roots are highly contacting with the soil, and then the roots are able to absorb the water from the soil particles easily by osmosis process. Right, children? So how the roots collect the water means, just I will give you a small demonstration. Okay, so you imagine that all the roots are there, they will develop a small hair structures, a small hairy structures. So that small hairy structures are known as root hairs. They are known as what? Root hairs. So always the root hairs are infiltrated between the soil particles. Okay. Then what happens means here, these root hairs are there, they collect the water through the osmosis process. So what is osmosis process? Always the movement of water from higher potential to the lower potential itself. Okay. So at first what happens means, this root hair collect the water from the soil layers, and then from the root hair, okay, from the root hair, that water will be pushed into the next layer itself. So what is the next layer to the root hair, children? This is known as epidermal layer. Epidermal layer. Okay, that means here we can see the epidermal cells. So here we can see what type of cells? Epidermal cells. So once the root hair collect the water from the surrounding layer, that water will be pushed into the epidermal cells. Okay. So from the epidermal cells, that water is pushed into the next layer. That is nothing but cortex. So here we can see cortical cells. Here we can see cortical cells. So this is cortex. Okay. So from the root hairs, water is pushed into the epidermal cells, and from the epidermal cells, water is pushed into the cortical cells. Then the water will be pushed into the next level, that is known as tracheids. Tracheids. So what are these tracheids means, children? I will give you the correct knowledge. So when you look into the xylem and the phloem tissue, so these two are a kind of tissues in a plant. Okay, so they are nothing but they are comes under the complex tissues. Okay, so in ninth class we have studied about the plant tissues. There are different plant tissues. So in that simple tissue is there, complex tissue is there. So this complex tissue is there, no children. It has more than one type of cells. More than one type of cells are present in the complex tissue. It is divided into two. What are the two complex tissues means? One is known as xylem. The other one is known as phloem. Okay, one is xylem, other one is known as phloem. Okay, so here why we have to discuss about the xylem means here, it can contribute for the transportation of water. Okay, xylem tissue is there. No? This is one of the plant tissue, comes under the complex tissue, and the xylem tissue is having an important role in the plant itself, children. That is helpful to conduct the water from root system to the other parts of the plant itself. Okay. Then when you look into the different constituents of the xylem now, mainly the xylem has four constituents. So what are the four constituents means here? The first one is xylem vessels. Okay. What is the first one? Xylem vessels. And the second one is xylem tracheids. Tracheids. Xylem vessels are there, xylem tracheids are there, then xylem fibers, and the last one is xylem parenchyma. Might be you have studied all these things in the 9th class, just to recollect. Okay, xylem has four constituents. What are the four? Xylem vessels, xylem tracheids, xylem fibers, and then xylem parenchyma. So, in the transportation of water by plants, children, these xylem vessels and the xylem tracheids takes an important role for transportation of water. Right? Okay. So, now come to the topic. So, here, what I told you, children, the root has at first collect the water from the soil layers. Through what process? Osmosis process. Okay, through osmosis process, here end osmosis will take place. End osmosis. So through end osmosis, the water will enter into the root hair. From there, it reaches to the epidermal cells, and from the epidermal cells, the water enters into the next layer that is surrounded by cortical cells. Okay, so from the cortical cells, the water reached into the tracheids. And then from the trachea, the water pushed into the xylem vessels. Xylem vessels. Okay. So here, what happened? How the xylem vessels are able to transport the water, transport the water, along with the water, minerals also, which are dissolved with water, how they are transported to the different parts in upward direction, that we will see now. Okay. So here, these xylem vessels are there, no children? The xylem vessels. So besides the xylem vessels, the this tracheids will be there. So xylem vessels appears like this, and then the tracheids are there. No? They are somewhat small tubular structures. Okay, they are surrounded by the xylem vessels itself, like this. These are the vessels, these are the tracheids itself. Okay. So when we look into the transportation of water by xylem vessels, children, mainly we can see three steps involvement. That means there are three steps involved in the transportation of water by xylem vessels. So what are the three steps involved in the transportation of water means, children? Okay. The first one is uh, absorption of water, absorption of water and minerals by root hairs. By root hairs. This is the first step. Absorption of water and minerals by root hairs. And the second one is upward movement of upward movement of upward movement of water and minerals. And the third step is transpiration. The third step is what? Transpiration. Right? Okay. So mainly three steps are there in the transportation of water from root level to the other parts of the plant, like leaves, branches, and topmost part of the plant itself. Okay. First one is absorption of water and minerals by the root hairs. Then second one is upward movement of water and minerals. The third one is transpiration process. Okay. We will take one by one. We will observe one by one how the water is transported from roots to the other parts of the plant. Okay, so when we talk about the absorption of water and minerals by root hairs material, so once the root hairs collect the water, that water will be shifted to xylem vessels. Just now I told. So these xylem vessels, when you see the mature plants, all the xylem vessels forms a tubular structure. Okay, they appear like a tubular structure. So here what happened means the xylem vessels receive the water. Receive the water, and here this xylem vessels take two physical forces help. Okay, there are two physical forces which they can give their help to push the water molecules in upward direction. Right? So what are the two physical forces which give support for pushing of the water molecules in upward direction means you can. One is known as adhesive force. Adhesive force. Other one is known as cohesive force. Adhesive force and cohesive force. Okay, so there are two physical forces which helps the water present in the xylem vessels to be pushed into the upward direction itself. Okay, adhesive force, cohesive force. So what is the use of this adhesive force means, children? So when the water molecule reaches to that xylem vessel, children, then these water molecules will be split. Okay, the water molecules will be split and they produces a columnar-like structure. A water columnar-like structure will be developed by the help of the adhesive force. Okay, so for example, the water molecule contains hydrogen and oxygen ions. Hydrogen and oxygen ions. So all the hydrogen ions will be arranged in a particular column like this. Okay, all hydrogen ions will move in a particular columnar-like structure. So a water columnar-like structure will be developed in the xylem vessels by the help of the adhesive force. Okay, and then comes the cohesive force. So this cohesive force is there. That is nothing but when water molecules are arranged in a particular row, particular column of children, then the upper hydrogen molecule will be attracted by the lower. Sorry, the lower hydrogen molecule will be attracted by the upper. The lower molecules are there, no? They will be attracted by the upper molecules itself. Okay, so by that what happens means there is another situation takes place in the xylem vessel, that is nothing but transpiration pull. Transpiration pull. Right? Okay. So here we can see a different mechanism by the xylem vessels. Once the water molecules reach the xylem vessels, then what happened? By the help of adhesive force, by the help of cohesive force, then transpiration pull will be developed. Okay, transpiration pull means the leaves are the topmost. That means the leaves are there in the upper area of the plant itself, aerial parts. Okay, the leaves are also known as aerial parts. So all the water molecules should reach to the leaves itself. Okay, wherever the leaves are arranged or attached to branches, new branches itself, no children, these water molecules are reached to all of the leaves itself. Right? So they what happen? Some of the water gets evaporated from the leaves. Okay, so that the lower water molecules will be there, no? They will be pulled. They will be pulled in upward direction. They will be pulled in upward direction. So that is known as transpiration pull. Okay, so here the first step is what? Absorption of water and minerals by root hairs. Okay, so the root hairs will be absorb the water. How they absorb the water? They also one force is essential for absorption. Already endosmosis process will be there. Through endosmosis process, roots collect the water and that water is pushed into the epidermal cells, cortical cells, and then touches and reaches to the xylem force means there when the water is accumulated in the root hairs, okay, in the cells of the brachiospecimen, root pressure will be developed. The root pressure. So, in another way, this root pressure is known as suction force. Suction force. Okay. Either root pressure or suction force. That means they suck the water. The root hairs suck the water and root pressure will be delivered there. By the root pressure, what happens means the water molecules will be pulled in, pushed in forward direction itself. They will be pushed in forward direction itself. Okay. Then when you come to the second step, involved in the transportation of water, upward movement of water and minerals. Upward movement of water and minerals means there we can see transpiration pull. Okay, so here the plant is not using any additional energy. You are noticing that? I didn't say the plant is collecting that energy, the plant is utilizing this energy. I am not saying. Okay, that you keep in mind. Why it is, I will say later. Okay, so generally the plant is utilizing certain forces. They are known as physical forces. Physical forces. So in the roots, suctional force is essential to push the water molecules in upward direction. And when it reaches to the xylem vessels in the shoot system, the adhesive force and cohesive force is essential to pulling out the water molecules. Then transpiration pull will be raised, will be developed there. Okay. Then what happened? What is the third step here? What is the third step? Transpiration. The third step involved in the transportation of water is transpiration. Okay, so here this transpiration is there, children. That is nothing but the removal of excess of water by the leaves in the form of water vapor. Okay, so this transpiration is nothing new for you. So in very lower classes almost you are reading about the transpiration. So the excess of water and the elimination of water is removed from the leaves, okay, in the form of water vapor. So how a plant is able to remove the water? By what it can able to remove the water means that there are certain structures present in the leaves. They are nothing but, 1 minute. transpiration process. Okay, so what are the structures to help to transpirate the water out means here? They are nothing but stomata. So already we know about the stomata. Where are they present? They are present in the lower side of the leaf itself. Okay, there are some apertures like structures. There are some apertures like structures. Always they get open and closing by the help of the God cells. By the help of the God cells. Just you recollect. Once again, you recollect the structure of the stomata itself, children. So this is the structure of stomata, and these are the cuter cells. Okay, these are the cuter cells, and these two are known as Golgi cells. And this aperture is there, no? This is the stomatal aperture. This is what? Stomatal aperture. Okay, so how the stomatal aperture in function means with the help of the God cells. So these God cells give certain guidance for closing and opening of the stomata. So when stomata is closing and opening of mother children, exchange of gases will take place. At the same time, the transpiration process also done by the stomata itself. Okay, so here this transpiration is essential, more essential in the transportation of water by plants. How it means? So when you look into the leaf, no children, when you look into the leaf, what I told you, from the xylem vessels, the water is pushed to the leaves. Okay, in the leaf, the stomata are present. Okay, so from the stomata, the water will be evaporated. From the stomata, what happened? The water will be evaporated. So once the water molecule present a particular region of the leaf, no children, that leave out from the leaf, no, the empty space is occupied by the new water molecule. Okay, why? Because this cohesive force is there, no? It is attracting the lower water molecules. Okay, so that what happened? Some of the water molecules removed from the leaf, and that space is occupied by the new water molecule. Okay, so by that, the transporting of water is a continuous process. It's a continuous process in the plants itself. All the time. Whenever the air of water is present in the soil layers material, when the root hair absorbs the water, that water is pushed into the xylem vessels, and the xylem vessels transport the water through different physical forces. Then children, ultimately it reaches to the leaf, and from the leaf it can transpirate out, it can eliminate it out. So when the older water molecules remove from the leaf, children, the new water molecules occupy that place. So like that, a continuous movement will be there. Here what happened? These xylem vessels are there, children. The wall of the xylem vessel is made up of lignin and suberin. Lignin and suberin. So that lignin and suberin wall, cell walls are there, children. They have semi-permeability, and they are supported by the adhesive force. They are supported by the adhesive force and they have the flexibility. Okay, so by that also water can transpirate from lower regions to the higher regions. Okay, so in this manner, children, the plants are able to transport the water itself. Right? Now I want to show some of the pictures. I want to share my screen. Okay, then you look at the screen, children. Then you can clearly observe how the transportation of water takes place. Okay. So till then, I will show in the picture. Just you look at on the screen. So this is the movement of the water. This is the movement of the water. Okay. Yes. Now you are looking into the flow chart of the transportation of water. Flow chart of the transportation of water. Just look onto the screen. So first, water is collected by the root hairs, and from the root hairs, the water is reaching to the epidermal cells. From the epidermal cells, the water is reached to the cortical cells, from the cortex, and it enters into the xylem tracheae, and from there, children, it reaches to the xylem vessels, and finally it reaches to the leaf itself. Okay, so when the water reaches to the root hairs, there I told you that one of the force is helpful, suction force is helpful. By that, root pressure will be developed in the root hairs itself, children, and by the help of the root pressure, the water is pushed into the epidermal cells. Okay, so from the xylem vessels, when the water reaches to the leaf node, so through transpiration process, it will eliminated out. It will be expirated out. Okay, then another diagram you are looking onto the screen, children. So there you can see xylem vessel, and besides that phloem vessel is there. So why I am showing that picture means always the xylem and phloem will be appeared side by side. They are adjacent to one to each other itself. They are adjacent to one to each other. Okay. And one more thing I forgot to say, children. The movement of water in the xylem vessels is always unidirectional. Always unidirectional, but it is quite different in the phloem. That is, sometimes it moves upward direction, sometimes it moves to the downward, lower direction also. Okay, why? Because lower part of the plant also require the food materials, so that we can see a different process in the phloem vessels. So in xylem vessels, always the water moves in unidirection itself. Okay. So next, look at the another image here. There you have a clear idea. So there you are looking at the roots absorbing water from the soil layers. So the water molecules are reaching to the roots itself. So uptake of water from the soil into the root hairs, into the root system by the help of the root pressure. Then from the root children, they ascends. Okay, the ascending of water molecule you are looking into, and they reach it to the shoot system itself. So from the stem, from the xylem vessels, children, each and every leaf collect the water. Once the water reaches to the leaf, children, then the water gets evaporated through stomata itself. Just now I told you where are the stomata present, what is the function of the stomata. So through stomata, children, the water gets evaporated. That is only known as the transpiration, right? Okay. See, there is a water columnar structure. So you are looking into the side smaller pictures, children. I told you that transpiration pull. Okay, transpiration pull. So transpiration pull means nothing but the lower water molecules are attracted by the upper water molecules by the help of the cohesive force. Okay, so at that time we can see the columnar water molecule. The water moves in a columnar like structure itself. Okay, next. So this transpiration completes in 3 steps. One is absorption of water and minerals, and then upward movement of water and minerals, then transpiration process itself. So another image you are looking at the screen, children. They how the xylem vessels transport the water, how the phloem vessels transport the food materials. Okay, so see, the xylem vessels always transport the water in unidirectional. Okay, and the phloem vessel is phloem tissue is there, children. That is helpful to carry out the food from the leaves to the other branches. That means higher branches of the plant itself and the lower root system also. Alright? Okay. So I will conclude the session today itself. Just I will recollect what I told to you, children. Just what are the important things I have told today. I will give you a revision, and then we will go to the next topic, that is transportation of food materials. Okay, so how the transportation is very much important in animals. In the same way, transportation of food materials, transportation of nutrients, transportation of water also very important, essential in plants also. Okay, so total transportation of water is depending upon the 3 steps. So first step is absorption of water and minerals. The first step is absorption of water and minerals, and the second step is upward movement of water and minerals, and the third step is the transpiration process. Okay, so there, children, I first on the first itself Okay, beginning of the lesson itself, I told that the xylem vessels did not take, okay, they do not depend upon any energy which is existing in the plant itself. So how they can transport? There is no device also to transport the materials like in animals. How they are able to transport means it can depend upon the physical forces. It can depend upon the physical forces. So suctional force, and that develops a root pressure, and then adhesive force. That adhesive force is helpful to maintain a water column in the xylem vessel, and cohesive force that is helpful to attract the lower water molecules, and a transpiration pull will be developed by the cohesive force itself. Okay, so that's a type of process is there, no? The transportation of water by xylem vessel is there, no? That is known as passive transport. Okay, there are two systems in the transport children. One is known as active transport. The other one is known as passive transport. Okay, active transport and passive transport. So what is the difference between these two means? So in xylem vessels, when the water is moving, that is known as passive transport. That means it do not collect any energy, existing energy like ATP energy. So we are utilizing ATP energy to do all the biological functions in animals. And here, especially when transportation of water is moving on, no, at that time they do not utilize any energy, existing energy, only that physical forces are helpful. So this is known as passive transport. But it is quite opposite in the phloem tissue. Okay, so there we can see active transport. That means for transportation of food materials, the phloem tissue depend upon the ATP energy. So which is already existing in the plant, which is already derived by the plant itself. Right? So in xylem vessels, whatever the transportation is going on, that is passive transport itself. Okay, children. So the remaining lesson in next session we can observe.